Hi, it's Kiffin Lebates here, and normally on Sundays I post something cheery or funny, but this Sunday I thought I would talk about blockchain pessimism. I'm sure those of you who are actively involved in blockchain have occasionally had moments of doubt where you think to yourself, is this really something, or am I just imagining that this technology is actually going to be significant beyond Bitcoin? And of course, 8 years ago, it wasn't even beyond Bitcoin. It was, will Bitcoin even be significant? So today I was reading an article by Jimmy Song, and I had one of those moments of doubt where you think to yourself, am I really on the right track here? But I think the thing to remember is all the other significant advances that have happened in computer technology didn't just suddenly spring out of nowhere and take the world by storm. I'm thinking here, for example, when I was 11 and I was playing around with a ZX81 computer and then a ZX Spectrum. It was really cool. I was only a kid, so I wasn't thinking in business terms, but it was pretty obvious to me at that age that computers were toys. Interesting, fun, but no real practical purpose, maybe just for entertainment. And how wrong that was. Then I remember seeing web pages for the first time in 1993 or 4, I think it was, and thinking, yeah, okay, great, you know, I can look up stuff on my computer, and it's not on the computer. I don't have to put a floppy disk or a CD into it. I certainly didn't in 1993 look at that and think, gosh, you know, the whole world's going to be running on the web eventually, everything's going to be there. And, you know, Microsoft didn't. They were really slow on the uptake for the internet. And then let's look at phones with touchscreens, right? I mean, there's that famous video of Steve Ballmer saying that people are not going to want to give up on their key pads, and I felt the same way when I saw my first touchscreen phone. It was like, well, this is quirky and interesting, but it's not going to replace having buttons that you press in order to dial a number. Again, wrong. Now, of course, I have to admit here that there is a survivor bias, that these are examples of things that went on to do fantastically well, and I'm not mentioning the hundreds or thousands of things that were probably equally exciting but failed to take off. But I do think that blockchain has this something about it, like computers when you were a kid, encountering them for the first time, and I'm talking to people here who were born in the 70s or earlier, or the internet when you first saw it. Again, I remember going and seeing the coffee pot in the Trojan Room in Cambridge, and you know, it was really quirky and fun. Nobody would have thought, though, looking at it, that eventually there was going to be a multi-million or possibly billion-dollar industry around webcams and monitoring systems using the web. And similarly, phones with touchscreens. Not everybody thought this is going to be fantastic, but they had something about them that was interesting and fun and quirky and entertaining and thought-provoking. And that's the thing I think you have to remember about blockchain, is that no matter how often people say it's overhyped, it's pointless, it's a clumsy database, it's not backed by anything, it's not got a company driving it, the fact is that it is fascinating, it's interesting, it's alive. People are having discussions about it and debating stuff and arguing and having insights all the time. And that, to me, is the key indicator why blockchain is something really, really special. Because I think if it was just a flash in the pan, I certainly would not be able to post a video about it every single day. So if you ever get down about the significance of blockchain and wonder whether you've wasted a large chunk of your life looking at a piece of technology that's going to be obsolete very soon, just come back and look at this video. It's exciting, it's interesting, it's going to go somewhere. I can pretty much guarantee it. That's today's video, and see you on Monday for the next one. Bye for now.